Hi, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of, uh, you know, uh, from Digital CRM, where we take some of the most frequent questions that we face from you and try and give you a very clear, specific answers to those. With me, you have Shubhamay Chakrabarti, my colleague and associate, who is also going to be participating in this session, both asking some questions which he has been facing, and I'm going to have faced from people, and he's going to give you the answers to those as well. So, saying that, maybe Shubhama, you can start off with maybe some of the questions that you have been facing, and let's see what people have been asking about our programs regarding cloud computing and analytics, including big data.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Raja. I will have a good day. And so, first question that people generally ask is, why should I know about all this cloud computing and big data? So, what is in it for me? And the related question is, are these two topics related to each other, or they are quite different? Possibly, you can also answer that who are the key speakers that who will be presenting in this seminar, and what will be the takeaway, or I mean, what is in it for me factor in this seminar. So if you can answer these questions, that will be great.
Yeah, sure, Shubhaman. Thank you. Let me quickly take this to one at a time. Why should I know about cloud computing and big data? Because these are, possibly aspects that you will face and possibly need to incorporate or implement in your organization sometime fairly soon in the future. Uh, we will tell you the reasons why much more in detail in the seminar, which is one of the reasons why you should attend. But today, a lot of IT and a lot of computing and a lot of with organizations becoming global, with people wanting to be more cost effective, with people wanting access to a lot of external data, cloud computing and big data analytics are going to be coming in and already are beginning to come in a big way. Are these two topics related to each other? Well, they are, because um, a lot of big data uh, talks about, see, you have internal data which you generate within your organization, and you have external data. Now, big data necessarily relies also on a whole lot of external data which you can get from specific data sources or in the public domain and so on. And so therefore, cloud computing and big data are related, because a lot of that data is out there in the cloud. It could be a public cloud or a private cloud, but it's out there in the cloud. Who are the speakers? Well, we have various programs, and we have a set of speakers, external, internal. I will not go into the details of all of them. Some of we for the external as well as the internal speakers, do look up our brochure and also our site, where we talk about our affiliates and guests, and as well as about some of us. And the speakers are drawn from within these. For the top management programs, we usually have an external speaker who's a very well established professional in his own right, and who's much sought after for his experience and his implementations in these areas, as well as his speeches and keynote addresses to various informed audiences. What would be the takeaways from this seminar? Well, a number of them, but uh, see, there is always a right way and a wrong way of implementing anything new in your organization, and the same holds true for analytics, big data, as well as cloud computing services. Now, there are various spin-offs from this, and one of the major spin-offs is that as your software and hardware needs either changing or upgradation and so on, these could come in as very cost effective for your organization, cost efficient, and therefore uh, giving you a good enough reason to, instead of buying a new set of hardware and buying internal software which you use only internally, about going the route where you're talking about software as a service and you're talking about cloud computing services where, you're using somebody else's servers and a software which is out there to do many of your functions. But coming back to what we were saying, we tell you the right way about going about this in these seminars, so which will give you an appreciation of what are the kind of ecosystems you need to set up, what are the kind of infrastructure you need to have in place, the kind of the right human resources that you need to make a go about this. Because if you do it the right way, the benefits are manifold. If you do it the wrong way, like everything else, the results could be disastrous. So I guess, does that answer the few questions, Subhamay, that you put to me?
Yes, that's pretty much answers. I think what that leads to is a few case studies or few areas where we need to specifically answer questions. Suppose someone from a executive committee, a CXO guy, comes in and he asks that what is in it for me for this program specifically? Why should I join a program? Or someone who is running a SMB business. So is there anything for him? Or someone doing a startup business, so is there anything for him either? So if you can answer on that area, that will be great as well.
Okay. Yeah, see, this program, while most of the contents are targeted at senior corporate managers, as well as owners of, or people who manage startup companies or small and middle-sized organizations. Why should you attend this seminar? Because I think we already said, instead of relying on consultants or inside help to figure out whether you should be going in for this, and if so, at what stage should you be going in for this, and what are the spin-offs, what are the benefits, what is the ROI about going in for this. This seminar will give you a direct appreciation of all those aspects. And it's even equally more important for say owners of startups or owners and people who manage small and middle level organizations, because you may not have the kind of resources internally which large corporates or large corporations have. So therefore you need to kind of do a number of things yourself and take it on you to do them, rather than depending on people within your organization. And these seminars or these programs will equip you with the means and with the knowledge to be able to do that. Um, so, in terms of if you're, let's say, an executive committee member or CXO of an organization, and you're looking for expanding your company's footprint, well, sure. It again, like we said. I mean, just to maybe reiterate, it will tell you whether, at what juncture, in what area, and in what form these could be ideal. Uh, Let me also say that there could be cases. There could be cases where you may not want to go in for either or both at exactly this point in time. But again, to be able to gauge that, you need to have a knowledge, an overview, an understanding of what this is all about and what the benefits are. So this will equip you to take that decision about go, no go. When should you go in for it? Should you go in for it at all? If so, at what stage? And so on. So I guess that possibly would answer the questions, Shubhama, you posed about these areas.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty much answers the questions. Yes.
Okay. Uh, okay. A few queries. Maybe let me take on, which I have been facing.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me cite about two or three of these. One is, are these programs typically like a vendor presentation, or are they sponsored by a particular vendor or company, or are they independent in the sense that they are objective, impartial, and they're not they don't have the hidden agenda of promoting a product or a service. So that's one of the questions we've been facing. And secondly, the other question is that do we cover the various platforms for cloud computing and the various apps for big data in this seminar? And okay, so I think these are the questions maybe you can take up for answering.
Yeah, sure. I mean, to answer your first question, whether there is a vendor presentation or not, the short answer is no, it's not. So it's fairly independent seminar where we are trying to equip the senior management into the various aspects of cloud and big data. So you're not going to pitch any product that way. On the second question, that whether we are going to cover any tools or apps about cloud and big data, the answer again is no. We are not getting into a session of, say, how to do Hadoop or how to do R kind of thing. This seminar is intended for the senior folks who wants to know the basics and who wants to know the tricks and tips on how their organization can get into this. But it's not about the programmers who can get and learn something, some new language here. So it's more about the strategy part of it, where the organization can jump into this new area. So that's about the program. So, does that answer your question, Raja?
Yes, it does. And let me quickly get on to a few more questions, maybe the last set of questions for this particular session. Meanwhile, a message to anybody out there who may be listening in to this session, which is being streamed live, available on YouTube as a live stream. And while you may not be a participant in this, if you have specific questions, you can use the utility that we have to send in your questions real time right now, and we'll try and see if those questions are not already covered, and we will try and answer some of those questions during this session itself. Okay, getting on to some more questions that we have been facing. One is people have been saying that if they have an existing IT setup and they have in-house servers and an intranet, is there any reason why they should consider a changeover to cloud computing services, either wholly or partially? Another question that we've been encountering is that people, and this is typically mostly from people who are in small or mid-sized organizations, who say that, look, cloud computing services and analytics, etc., are only meaningful for very large corporations. Now, if I'm a startup, or even if I'm a small and medium-sized business, are these relevant for us at all in any way? And the last question I would pose in this session is, the question asked to us, saying that as a follow-up to this, if we are interested, do you provide consulting or assistance of any sort, for us further down the line? So these are, I think, the questions, Shubhama, you can take up for answering.
Yeah, pretty interesting questions. So the first question, to answer your first question, that if I have an existing IT setup, do I need to go for cloud or something like that? The answer is yes, but it depends. So we need to understand your context. What is your organization about? Where your IT infrastructure is right now? And based on that, we can suggest more specifics on that. But to give you an idea, most of the companies who are getting into cloud, they were already present in on-premise data center or other data centers. So that's a migration that people are making from data center to cloud. So that's part one. Part two was related to questions from SMBs and startups, whether there is any relevance of doing cloud for them. I would say that there is a lot of relevance for startups and SMBs. because it gives you a very quick solution and also very cost effective solution. Again, the specifics can be worked out, like what works for you may not work for the other guy, so those are all very specific to your organization that needs to be worked out. And the last question that you asked, whether we can get into any consulting or any advice with any of the small organizations or large organizations into implementation of this, the answer to that is yes, we can get into discussion. So again, it's very specific question and we can't answer as a generic way. So we need to get into your details. We need to understand your pain points and see how things can be improved by these technologies. So does it answer the questions, Raja?
Yes, yes, they do. And I think we have more or less covered the questions that you had, and the questions that I have encountered. So as far as this session is concerned, we will wrap it up here. We will continue to have more such sessions, and we will continue to have live broadcasts from digital CRM in future, where even those who are tuning in or listening in can pose questions real time or offline. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day and take care. Bye.